Welcome to the Big Talk podcast, where we chat all things business and personal development related, totally unfiltered and unscripted. I'm your host, Amanda Davies, and I'm here to help you transform into the leader you were born to be, stand apart from the competition, and most importantly, share your message with the world in a big, big way. Are you ready? Welcome once again to Big Talk. Hello, welcome back to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm super thrilled that you are here as always. And I wanted to just say right up front that I so appreciate you guys who like these episodes, who share them over on social media, and those of you who subscribe to the podcast too. It really does mean a lot to me. It obviously helps my channel greatly, so I appreciate you, okay? And welcome back if you are returning, and hello to you if you are new, if you're just finding me. It's fantastic to have you here too. So this week's episode is all about turning the so-called success formulas for business on their heads, okay? Because we have all seen, the 5-step success formula for growing a 10K a month business, and the 4-step kind of this or that to creating a bulletproof mindset. And we see all of this stuff. And I think a lot of the content that's out there, although I'm poking a bit of fun, it all has really, really great intentions behind it. I think we need to say that right up front, okay? But what I think we're starting to discover, and certainly what I've learned throughout these past 8 years in this business, can't quite believe it's been 8 years, just FYI, but I've been around now. I'm actually sort of quite old school when it comes to, coaching businesses and online businesses. In this sense, I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen a lot of churn in this industry too, because this industry can be brutal in terms of it can chew you up and spit you out if you don't put the pieces of the puzzle in place in the right way when you're starting to build these incredible purpose-led businesses, whether you're a coach or a consultant, or whether you are a wellness pro or a therapist and you're looking to bring your business online. It's a super competitive marketplace now. And we've witnessed this over the last few years. The industry is absolutely freaking booming. Okay? Everyone's tipped into the online space. Careers have changed. The way businesses do business has changed a lot since the pandemic. So, now is really the time to do this check-in with your business, whether you're just getting started or whether you've been around for a while, but to do a real check-in to say, have I set myself up for success and longevity going forward? And this whole idea of longevity and consistency with growth potential has been a huge part of my message from the beginning. And I know that that's not the sexiest message. That's not the 10K in 10 minutes message, okay, that I know a lot of marketers kind of like to bamboozle people with. But what's really important to me, and I know this is really important to my ideal clients too, is that you build something that is legacy driven, that actually allows you to create consistency, that allows you to create growth, but is also there to support you as well, that lights you up in a way where you actually can't wait to work on your business because it's part of your calling. It's just part of what you're here to do. It's your art. It's your creative expression. It's your divine expression. So people who are very heart-based and who are passion-based and who absolutely freaking love what they do, I know you guys are in my audience, which is why I kind of wanted to shape this episode today around what's really important when it comes to building your business, whether, as I said, you're brand new or you're just getting started, or whether you're looking to pivot your business, or whether you've just been in business for a little while but need a bit of a shake-up. I think it's really worth just coming back to some of these fundamentals around how your business is set up, particularly given the current climate that we're in and the competition and, the world and the way it is and all of that sort of stuff at the moment too, okay? Because you guys know that I have deep spiritual roots to what I do, but I also have a super practical head and a super pragmatic head as well. Okay. So I want to make sure that we're kind of speaking to both parts of this. How can you keep your business rooted in your purpose and lights you up and is here to almost sort of be that expression or that vehicle of your calling for this moment, but also, we're doing our homework as well. All right. We're setting this thing up in the best possible way to carry you forward as well. So you have that reassurance and you have that confidence in what you're doing too. All right. So this whole episode is about the success formula and turning that on its head, because here's what I've noticed. All right. And I kind of want to call this out because if we keep doing these sorts of things going forward in this current climate, I think we're going to see a lot of businesses getting themselves into a lot of trouble. All right. So the thing that I kind of want to call out right from the get-go is I see people focusing on the wrong things when they're starting to build their business, and they're probably in that first year or two of building the momentum. I see people focusing on completely the wrong things. All right. And quite often it's like people come to me and they pick up the phone to call me when they've tried a few of the wrong things. All right. And they haven't got very far, and they've got a bit of a headache, and they've got less money in the bank than when they started. And they're like, Amanda, what am I doing wrong? What's not connecting here? I feel passionate about what I'm doing. I feel inspired by what I'm doing, but I can't quite, keep up in terms of cash flow. I can't quite sort of fork out for the expenses that I need every month, to actually run my business or run ads or hire a team or whatever. Or I'm trying all of these different tools, all these different strategies and approaches, or I've tried these affirmations and this mindset work. And right. So people have kind of come to that point where they just don't know, like they've dabbled in a lot of all of this sort of stuff. And the truth is, when we actually sort of get under the hood of what's not quite working in their business, it's usually because they've sort of not focused so much on building the solid foundations, and rather they've focused maybe on some things like the tools or not the golden, but like the silver bullet strategies, or this little bit here, or this kind of little business model thing over here. And it's like they've tried these kind of different tools is probably the best way to describe it. Or they've focused on developing a particular skill, like in sales, for example. They've done 100 sales courses, or, because someone told them they just need to get better at sales. But, my approach to this is actually, let's strip it right back and let's actually look at that concrete foundation that your business is built on first off. And I say that this is kind of the success formula backwards, because when you look at what a lot of the experts are talking about out there, it's like, well, you just need a better funnel, or you just need, an upsell or a tripwire, or you just need this and this strategy, or you just need to get better at sales, or, and people are selling these kind of individual services or tools or softwares in isolation. But actually what people need is freaking the equivalent of heart surgery. All right. We don't need a Band-Aid. We don't need a different software system probably. And we don't need sort of a different, a sales funnel, upsell, downsell kind of strategy, or a new email sequence or whatever. It's like, actually, we need to strip the whole thing back, get in underneath the surface and look at those foundations, as I said before. All right. So it kind of comes down to this. It's almost like a hierarchy. All right. If you think of sort of a triangle, all right. And that triangle is divided into sort of 5 sections. All right. So we've got the longest section at the bottom, okay, which is the foundation. And then we've got 4 sections on top of that. All right. So it's kind of like this hierarchy of business needs. And we've got the foundation, which is really where I love to start with all of my clients. And this is ironically where, again, like I was saying, when people come to me to maybe work together and become a client, they've sort of ignored this part, or they've just sort of touched on it, but they haven't quite got their teeth into it, and they haven't quite bought into it fully. And they've just been too eager to sort of jump into the next bit, like the sexy bit or the whatever. So it's kind of like starting at this base layer, this foundation, which is really all about intention and purpose. Okay. Because if you do not feel fueled, and if you do not feel purpose-driven around what you are doing, my friend, I can tell you that you will lose all steam for your business going forward. And I'm just going to kind of call it tight, because I see people jumping in thinking that they can make quick money online, or knock up a quick e-course, or just sell a low-cost membership, all right, for £27 a month or whatever, and get 2,000 people in it, boom, done, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, right? It's like, it's not that easy. Okay. People get into this sort of stuff for the wrong reasons. And when I say it's not that easy, people don't consider things like, so where are your leads coming from? Where's your traffic coming from? It's not a case of you build it and they will come. So I see people kind of, again, focusing a little bit higher up the hierarchy, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is they're focused on what they're selling, and they're so focused on the tools rather than, well, what's the actual intention here? Do you want to create a business that is purposeful, number one, or are you just in it for the money? Or is it a bit of both? Because obviously we can have both too. But if you don't have that purpose and if you don't have that fuel, believe me, when times get tough and you're not filling your membership every month to the degree that you need it to be filled, you're not selling your 100 places every month or whatever, you are going to really quickly flag and probably be tempted to quit because you don't have the soul and the passion and the love for what you're doing. Okay. So I want to kind of be really clear on that right up front. It's like, we've got to get super clear on, what is my purpose here? Is this something that I could just jump out of bed for every day, 5 o'clock in the morning, and talk about this? I could go live. I want to go live on Facebook. I want to do webinars. I want to do a podcast every fortnight. I want to post every day, because it's your passion, right? And I know for so many of you listening, what you do is your passion. I get it. And yes, I get that you might be a little bit jaded with it at times. Of course, you're not going to be on 100% all of the time. Of course not. You're going to bump into challenges. But at the end of the day, you know that you can't not do what you do. You can't not get up and share. You can't not do this work, because ultimately it just becomes an extension of who you are and your purpose and your divine expression. So really starting to get in at this kind of intention level and asking yourself, what is it that I actually want? How do I want to run this business? How does my business serve me? But most importantly, and I think it's really important to ask this sort of follow-up question, which is, how do I want to feel when I have it? Because I think a lot of people do a pretty good job of setting an intention around what they want. And okay, yeah, I feel tapped into my purpose now. Great. Okay. But not asking that second question, I think, is where people miss a huge opportunity to make their intention stronger and more powerful. And really, this is where we start to get the emotion and the feeling into it. Because remember, the universe responds to energy. It responds to vibration. So you can say, oh, okay, well, my intention is, if we were to look at a monetary intention, all right, I want to start making 20K a month, all right, or 30K a month or whatever. Done. All right. We stick it up on a little post-it note and we put it above our computer on our desk. And we're like, yes, okay, I'm going to work towards 20K a month. And this is my little plan about how I'm going to get there, et cetera, et cetera. How do you want to feel when you're earning 20K a month? How do you want to feel? How can you feel that now? Like it's already done, because it is already done. If you believe in quantum mechanics, okay, and all of that sort of, the reality is it's done. Okay. But it's about you getting into vibration and active alignment with that goal and with that intention too. So starting to actually tap into the feelings associated with your intentions, the feelings of that passion, the feeling of the purpose, but also with the financial goals. Super, super, super powerful. Do you want to feel relaxed? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel proud? Do you want to feel like a role model to your kids? Okay. There's so much clarity, like further clarity that comes when you can actually feel what you want to feel as a result of getting what you want, and not slipping into, oh, but I don't have it yet, Amanda. Okay, well, yeah, it would be nice to feel excited when I get there and earning 20K a month, but, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. So, it's kind of just feels like a bit of a nice thing to have. I'll see it when I believe it, or whatever. Believe it when I see it, the way around. All right. So it's like, be bold. And I always encourage my clients to set really big, audacious goals. I call them big, audacious goals. And sometimes people get a little bit nervous because, like, well, what if I don't hit them? Well, and then I'm just going to feel really bad. Oh my gosh, like what? And we sort of go into this what if, and our ego starts to come in and we start to beat ourselves up. Well, remember all of those times when you failed? Remember when you failed that 9th grade maths test? Remember when you tried to start this business before and it went tits up? Remember, like, all of this sort of stuff, okay? And we go there. But if you don't go there, if you don't set the big, audacious goal and get into that energy of feeling like it's already done, feeling the excitement now, feeling the pride now, feeling like you're a role model now, okay, there is no way in hell you're ever going to get there. All right. And if you do, you'll sabotage it. Okay, because you're not in the energetic alignment to maintain that goal going forward. This is why people who win the lottery, okay, they win, $1 million or whatever, quite often they lose it very, very quickly, because they're not in that energetic alignment to be able to manage and hold and maintain $1 million, particularly if they've never had that kind of money before. All right. So it's just about really paying a bit of attention to your emotional and your energetic states here. Okay. Starting to feel into that goal, but also knowing that set the big, audacious goals. And so what? So what? Like if you don't hit 20 or 30K a month, why slip into the, oh my God, oh, I only made 18,000 this month. Oh my God. Like, oh, I didn't get that extra $2,000. Oh, I'm such a failure. The thing is, maybe you wouldn't have even got to 18K if you didn't set the 30K goal. Got it? So it's kind of like that old saying of, shoot for the moon and you might aim, or whatever. What is it? Shoot for the moon and you might land amongst the stars. Got it? This is really important. Okay. And I get so angry when I see people like, oh, I just want to, if I could just make 1,500 a month just to replace my, my corporate salary or whatever. Fine. And then what? We're going to get, if you join one of my programs, we're going to get you there within the first couple of weeks. We're going to show you how to get there and replace your corporate salary, but it's going to be about how do you sustain that and how do you then start building on that? And I always ask people, okay, great, we can replace your corporate salary. What do you actually desire? Not what you need to pay your bills. What do you desire? Start to get bold, start to create that really great intention and that clear understanding of how you want to feel when you get there. This is the key to building that strong foundation. The second step on this triangle, okay, is around the inner game. And I always talk about the inner game. You guys know a huge part of my business and what I do is around the inner game and psychology, also Jungian shadow work as well, and somatic work, because I know that in order to get those intentions right and in order to actually achieve them and to order to sort of put our hooks into those intentions, we need to be aligned, not just from a superficial mindset perspective, but from a deep energetic perspective. So yes, it's about feeling those feelings, but then it's about looking at your inner game to make sure there's no misalignment there. None whatsoever. This is the magic. This is the secret, okay? And it's not really a secret, but like this is the thing that allows you to create those quantum shifts and those quantum leaps forward in your results, okay? And look, again, if you've been around my work for any amount of time, you know that I always sort of say mindset work with a little bit of tongue in cheek, okay? Because a lot of what's being taught out there around mindset it does not go deep enough, anywhere near deep enough to really clear some of the core fears and to really look at some of the blocks and to look at the self-sabotage that holds people back from getting what they really want. So what I do and my team do, we are all about working on the level of the subconscious mind when it comes to this. We will not be the coaches, all right, that sort of say, okay, well, let's set your goal now. Like, okay, here's your 5-point plan to get to your 30K months. Like, we're going to do a bit of that too, but we know that's not going to be the thing that gets you to the 30K month. We want you to have the strategy. We want you to have the business tools and the marketing plan. Of course, you need that stuff. But unless you are subconsciously aligned to that intention, if there is any sniff of doubt within you that 30K months is just not doable, you are going to constantly sabotage, my friend. Okay. And I'm saying this with love, but it's like, this is the most important part of you achieving your potential. Because it's within your subconscious mind that not only is your shadow, obviously, but your deepest fears and your deepest, darkest emotions that might have been repressed that are going to come up and sabotage you. But there's also your greatest potential. And I do a lot of work with my clients around uncovering their golden shadow and actually how to start bringing this into their business a bit more. And golden shadow is basically what Jung referred to as sort of some of the gold, some of our gifts, some of the stuff that we've hidden and repressed away that's magnificent about us, the stuff that we're too scared to show, our ego doesn't want to show to the world. But I've seen this time and time again with my clients when we start to unlock some of this power and potential and beauty that's locked away. This is what elevates their brand to the next level because they can start owning the full spectrum of who they are. They're no longer hiding away. They're no longer feeling like an imposter. They actually start to do some of the integration work around their shadow and their ego. Okay. And so we do all of this in my programs too, and we never skip it. I have a lot of people say, oh, I just want to kind of learn how to get leads and I just want to do sales calls and figure out how to do those better. Great. We're going to do that. And we're going to start here. We're going to start with these 2 base layers of your intention and purpose. And then we're going to look at your inner game. And really, this stuff isn't just like a one step. Okay, you got to do this first and then you got to do that. The reality is it's all happening simultaneously. But honestly, this inner game, but sort of the depth inner game, the deep inner game, this is what moves the needle. Yes, it's about beliefs, but beliefs are really held within that space of your conscious mind, okay? Because it's very, very, very easy for us to sort of speak to our ego, who might have a belief that, for example, 30K a month is excessive, all right? That's kind of how we've been raised, and that's our conditioning. So there's one part of our ego that believes that, but then there's the other part of our ego that's like, actually, oh, no, no, no. Okay, yeah, I can see that 30K a month is doable, and that's noble. And actually, that's going to allow me to really serve people and help my family and look after other people and donate money. And so you can kind of like have these competing parts of you, right? But how many times do you still sabotage? How many times do you still say in that secret little voice in the back of your head, this isn't possible? Okay. You do the work and you think, okay, well, I've gone and I've done the mindset work and I've flipped my belief from 30K a month is excessive to 30K a month is noble. Yay, great, good for me. But, and I know this, okay, because I've been there and I've supported hundreds of clients with this too. I know there's always a little voice that says, no, not possible. That big intention that I set, not possible, not doable. I've never done it before. I just want to go set a small goal, a small, safe, reasonable goal. Okay, instead, because then I won't feel so bad when I don't hit it. Okay. Do you see these competing parts of you that are having this dialogue? All right. You got the part of you that thinks it's excessive. You got part of you that thinks it's noble. You got part of you that's like, nah, this ain't going to happen, bro, sis. Like, it's just, so you've got these different parts of you. And so this is why it's never just enough to work with just beliefs. It's never enough to just work with the conscious mind. We've got to get in and understand this voice of the critic. We've got to get in and understand and unlock, what is this block? What is this challenge? What is this core fear? And where does that come from? And how has that shown up as a pattern throughout your life? And how are you actually defending against that core fear? And I have no idea what that is for you. It's going to be different for everybody. But a core fear might be, actually, if you start earning 30K a month, what does that actually mean in terms of your position within your family and your friendship groups? Does that mean that you're going to have to take on more responsibility? Does that mean that people won't like you? You know, it's quite often we hold these very young parts of us within our subconscious mind that have been put there and repressed over the years, and they've become almost like a core fear that we need to defend against. Can't be rich, okay? Can't be rich because no one will like me. Like, you can imagine a 5-year-old saying that. And I'm saying this with utmost love, because a lot of this stuff we carry with us, it is our 5-year-old or our 8-year-old or our 12-year-old that was told money is terrible. No one's going to like you. You rich bitch. Got it? So it's like all of this stuff we need to work with together as a whole, all of these competing parts of our psyche. And this is why I bring not the mindset work. I actually bring psychodynamic coaching into all of my business client relationships too, because it's not enough to just do the superficial kind of affirmations or to rewrite the script on, and flip the belief switch and, all of this sort of stuff. Like, there's some real value in that. But I know that we need to get in under the hood of your psyche and start to really uproot and integrate these parts of you that are competing for attention, that are sabotaging you, that are always going to hold you back despite you saying the right things to your coach. Like, yeah, I believe it. Yeah. 30K a month. Amazing. It's noble. Going to allow me to look after whoever. No, you don't believe it, really. Okay. So look, I'm being really animated here because I've just seen this play out so many friggin' times. Okay. And this is the difference. Everything about your inner game, guys, honestly, it will either support you or sabotage you. And my mission is to make sure that your inner game is set up to support you 1 billion%. Doesn't mean we're ever going to be perfect. Of course, we all know this is a lifelong journey. But I know to get you to whatever your next level is in your business, there's some work we need to do under the hood of your psyche, okay? The third level that we need to look at is the strategy, all right? So this is where we start to look at, okay, well, what's the strategy? Okay, how are we actually going to build this business? What kind of business do we want to run? Do we want a low-cost business? Do we want a low-ticket business? Do we want a high-end premium business? Do we want something that's kind of in between, a bit of everything? Do we want a subscription model? Do we want a one-to-one coaching model? Do we want group coaching? Do we want to sell e-courses? Do we want to help people hands-on? Okay, do we want to be that hands-on coach, high touch, or do we want to create something that's a bit more self-paced that people can go through on their own? All right. So one of the things that I specialize in and the types of people that I work with best are the ones that want to create transformation in the lives of their clients. So I know that I am not best placed to support people who want to do a pile them high, sell them cheap model, because again, it doesn't hook back into that purposeful intention. All right. Pile them high, sell them cheap, make a quick buck on the internet, pump out a load of widgets. All right. We need widgets. Great. But I know that I work best with the people who are here to make a massive difference in the lives of their clients, people who want to guide them through life's ups and downs, to help them discover their purpose, meaning, direction, help them have better relationships, better health, better mental health, create wealth in their life, be more confident, get them through a relationship breakdown, a divorce, help women go through menopause, whatever it happens to be, big life transitions. These are the people I work with best. And believe me, if this is a core part of your purposeful intention, that base foundation, there are very specific business models that we would need to talk about for you to be able to get the sort of results you want your clients to create. Because got to tell you, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you try and do a low cost, for example, a low cost subscription model on something that is super powerful and super transformational, and it's designed to be that way, but you want to be kind of super hands off, all right? But you know, hand on heart, that your clients need high touch. They need to have the support. They need the team around them. They need a cheerleader. They need a network and a community. Your $9 subscription model every month is going to do them a disservice. And I'm just being really honest. Okay. Because they're not going to get access to you. They're not going to get access to a team. They're not going to access the support. I'm sure the content that you put out there for $9 a month or even $50 a month, $100 a month, it's going to be great. But you know as well as I do, if you're in the space of transformation, people need that hands-on support, don't they? They need to be able to share what they're going through. They need to be able to access your coaching in the moment or your team's coaching. So the way that we've got to set up the strategy around what you do in your business model is going to be very specific based on transformation. How do we not just make you wealthy and abundant and incredible and proud at what you do, but also how do we get the best results for your clients? Because I'm telling you, unless you can get the best results for your clients, okay, and really help them get great results, you're going to really struggle in order to really get your business up and running. All right. If you are really in the space of transformation. Okay. And look, this isn't to say that one day you can't introduce lower cost models, for example, into your business, of course, but there's again, a strategy around how you can start to introduce that and the sort of topics that maybe would be best suited for those sorts of business models. Because what I quite often see is people going away, beavering away on developing an e-course, for example, but they're not quite clear on how they want to sell it. Or, and I'm going to call it tight, people just want to do a quick e-course, all right, to be really hands-off and just kind of sell it, right? Hope that it sells itself. Doesn't work that way, okay? People are after transformation, not information. People are after that hands-on guidance and support, particularly the people that are going through really big, rough problems in their lives, okay? So this third pillar of kind of the strategy is really, really key, because it's going to also allow you to operate your business in a way that feels good to you, that feels in integrity and in alignment. Again, going right back to that first foundation, that purposeful alignment and that intention around what you're doing. Okay? If you don't have that purpose and that intention set, then you can't choose the right strategy that's going to work best for you, but also get the best results for your clients. Okay. Level 4 is really around your skill set. And like I was saying, a lot of people kind of get this a little bit around the wrong way, where they might do a little bit of work around purpose and intention in a game and strategy. Most people that I speak to have been focusing on developing skills or developing their tools, which is level 5. All right. So I'll kind of talk about these two things together, but your skill set is kind of like, it's everyone knows what your skill set is. It's like, great. If your skills fit the strategy that you want to create in your business, great. That's fantastic. Or you can obviously hire people to fill any gaps with skill set as well. But, skill set is obviously really important. You've obviously got to be a great coach. You've got to be great at sales, particularly if you're going to do a higher ticket business model, for example. You've got to be skillful in terms of managing a team, and you can learn all of this stuff. You can learn this. Of course, there's going to be stuff that you're naturally better at because of your experience or whatever, but skills are kind of an easy thing to kind of plug if you don't have the capability. Like I said, you can either develop the skills yourself or you can hire for them. All right. But like I was saying, a lot of people that kind of want to start growing their online businesses, they might be focused on doing. It's really interesting. I met someone the other day that was like super randomly focused on doing a sales course, and she hadn't even really kind of got an idea around what she wanted to sell yet. And so, and great for her, obviously doing the work and feeling really committed to her development, but focusing kind of at the top of the pyramid versus the bottom is the wrong way to kind of go about doing this, to be honest. So it's kind of like you got your skill set, and then at the very top of the pyramid is tools. All right. So this is where we talk about software. This is where we talk about, the right laptop and the microphone, and even down to, the types of funnels and things like that, or the types of channels that you use on social media. These are your tools, and they're really important. But this is probably the space where I see most people stuck, particularly people who are new and at the beginning, and even people who have been in business for a while, but they're kind of dabbling maybe around a bit of a revamp or a pivot in their business. I see a lot of people think, oh, maybe I just need to get a better tool. Maybe I need to get a better CRM or or whatever. Yeah, we've all done this, and I can poke fun at this because it's like, I've been here too. I get it. But honestly, fiddling around, trying to find the right software. Oh, will I use Kajabi, or will I use Kartra, or will I use Teachable, or will I use GetResponse? Like, none of this stuff matters. All right. And we can get so caught up in the tools, so caught up. Will I use Squarespace, or will I use WordPress? Will I use Wix, or will I use GoDaddy? Doesn't matter. Pick one, honestly. And you probably don't even need to pick one yet. And like I said, I'm not downplaying the importance of having the right tools. The right tools make your job easier. They make it faster. And obviously they help you and support you, and obviously support your clients too. But honestly, without the right foundations, without the right strategy, without the right sort of offers that you are going to put out there as part of your strategy, the tools are very, very, very insignificant when it comes to the whole thing. Okay. And look, and I'm sharing this because I know that when you're building up your business, there's so much information to take in. All right. And sometimes it's about, what part do I do first? And if you are the person that's looking at the tools, and you haven't considered some of these lower levels of the model yet, like the foundation levels, I don't blame you at all, because there's so much marketing aimed at you, which is, oh, come and have a look at Kajabi, come and do that. And I'm not saying any of these software names or anything. I'm just giving examples. All right. But you've got these people competing for your attention all the time. And it's like, well, this is the silver bullet you need. No, it's not. We need to go back to your foundations. What's your purposeful intention? How's your inner game stacking up? What's your strategy? What is the strategy you're going to use for the short to medium term? What's your longer term game plan? The skill set you need. And then let's look at your tools. And as I was saying before, this isn't sort of a, okay, do this first bit first. Okay, great. Tick that box. Now on to the second thing. Tick that. It's not linear. The truth is, you're going to be doing a lot of this stuff simultaneously. But what I really want to help you avoid is getting sucked into these time suck areas, which are specifically the tools. All right. Specifically looking at and comparing software, doing all of this sort of stuff as well. All right. So this is kind of the success formula on its head. I hope you really found some value in that too. What I would suggest is that if you want more information about this, if you'd like to go a little bit deeper with me, I would invite you to watch my free webinar. It will be linked up in the show notes here as well. And I go into a lot more detail around what you really need to create a successful online business, whether you are a coach, whether you're a service provider, wellness pro, or a consultant. If you're a service business owner who wants to get started and really set up that successful online business, definitely go watch that webinar. It's totally free. It goes for just under an hour, and there's loads of value there. There's no pitch at the end or anything like that. But I really start to build on some of the concepts that I spoke about today in more detail, and I give a lot of examples. And I also talk through very specific formulas and things like that too, that you can have a look at And again, and if you feel called to, obviously there's a call to action at the end of the webinar to book a free consultation call with me if it's resonating with you and if you'd like to find out a little bit more about how we can apply this stuff to your business. Because obviously I don't know your business. I don't understand what your real challenges are, or what you've tried, or whether you're dabbling around with tools or whatever, So this is the stuff that we need to talk about on the phone call. And those phone calls, we go for 40 minutes and it's just you and I chatting about what your challenges are, what your vision is, but most importantly, how to get there. Because if I can help you, I'm very happy to share more about that. And let's be realistic. If you want my help to help you with that too, we can talk about what that looks like. But if there's something else you need, I'm very happy to point you in that direction too. Okay. So those calls are no obligation, no cost. But what I would say is a first protocol, watch the webinar. If you resonated with what I spoke about today, linked up below, have a look. Obviously, you're going to get loads of value from that too. And then if you want to take that next step, then my calendar is also available for consultation calls also. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Big Talk podcast today. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please do leave us a review and share it with your friends. For further information about our programs and free content, head on over to lightpurposeliving.com. See you soon.